Now we are going to be reading the book Girls with Guts, The Road to Breaking Barriers and Bashing Records. Again, do we think this one is fiction or nonfiction? This is written by Debbie Gonzalez and illustrated by Rebecca Gibbon. We're going to look at the different clues here. And it looks like these, are, illustrations, which is what we read about right there. We don't know if this is going to be fact-based or not. I'm going to take off the dust cover because these tend to get in the way when I'm reading. So this is Girls with Guts. Let's see what it says. It says equal rights, go for it. And this is, I'm not exactly sure what that name is, but this was actually signed by the author. So that's kind of cool. Okay, it says, look at you, springing, kicking, dribbling, and pitching it down the pike. Girl, you are amazing. It's hard to believe that there was a time when girls were not encouraged to play sports. It's true. Athletic programs funded by the U.S. government were once for boys only. That was the rule. Girls were told no chasing, no stretching, no kicking, no pushing, no splashing, and never, ever sweat. That is interesting. Historically, the boys only rule goes way back to the early days of civilization. That's right. In ancient Greece, women were executed just for watching the early Olympic Games. No girl competitors allowed. Men only. Still, girls said, try and stop us. And they ran foot races and private festivals for Hera, queen of the gods. So that's Greek, right? Well, it said Greece, so let's see. Later, in 1896, during the first modern Olympic Games, female marathoner Melpomene made officials eat her dust. Denied the opportunity to compete, she defied the rules by running the entire race alongside the men. When refused entry onto the field for the final lap, Melpomene ran around the entire stadium instead. The race to breaking barriers was underway. Let me see a picture of her. 1896. People feared the active woman would develop wild-eyed, jet-jawed bicycle face, destroying their feminine appeal. In the late 1800s, Frances Willard challenged these and other Victorian beliefs by learning to ride a bike she named Gladys. Scandalous. In 1892, basketball was a boys' game, considered too strenuous for tender girls. But nothing stopped Senda Berenson Abbott from owning the court. A teacher at Smith College, Senda adapted the men's rules so daring girls could play. Their court was shorter, the rules were limiting. No fast breaks, no bumping, 3 bounces only. And the long bloomers were a must. These pioneers competed when others said they shouldn't or couldn't. How different that is from today's uniforms. Kind of sounding like with the dates, it kind of sounds like it's a nonfiction text. In 1909, polo-playing Eleanor Sears shocked society when she boldly rode astride, wearing pants rather than a skirt to compete in public. They actually used to do side saddle for females. Interesting. In 1926, Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to swim the English Channel, soaking the notion that females were athletically inferior to men. Unashamed and self-assured, courageous female athletes pressed on, even when folks tried to squash their competitive spirit. In 1928, Margaret Gizzolo competed as the only girl on an American Legion junior baseball team. This 14-year-old's moxie made headlines, bunting, sliding, stealing, beating the boys. Her team adored her. Her opponents deplored her. Ooh, that's a new word, deplored. What do you think deplored means? You don't belong here, they shouted. No girls allowed. Eventually, league directors barred Margaret and any other girl from playing as an American Legion junior. Still, female athletes kept coming on strong. So, reading that text, we've got the clues. It kind of sounds like deplored means they really didn't like her. So, at age 12, Althea Gibson was a champion ping pong player, the best in all of New York City. Then she traded her paddle for a tennis racket. Althea dominated the court during the civil rights movement. When blacks were struggling to gain equal rights in the U.S., Althea became the first athlete of color to win a Grand Slam title, smashing gender and racial discrimination lines by taking the French Open in 1956. Talk about guts. So that's 2 different records she did. That's pretty awesome. Donna de Verona joined the 1960 Olympic team as the youngest swimmer at age 13. Competitive, disciplined, and persistent, she bashed time-tested records and became known as the most outstanding female athlete in the world. Donna's future shone brighter than her gold medals. That's pretty awesome. Sadly, though, competitive swimming ended for this deserving athlete after 4 years on the Olympic team. Donna never made a collegiate heat sheet. If she wanted to swim in college and get an education, she would have to pay for it herself. At that time, athletic scholarships were for boys only. That was the law and a barrier ripe and ready to be broken. At the onset of the 1970s, so only 50 years ago, valiant warriors came together to fight the unfairness. See the women? It says girls are strong, and then there's a gender equality and equal jobs and educational opportunities. Like any athlete worth her sweat, Congresswoman Edith Green stepped up to the plate to challenge athletic injustice. She teamed up with Shirley Chisholm, Patsy Mink, and scores of others who took a solid stand against educational, athletic, and financial discrimination with federal funds. Enough, they said. Equal rights for girls and boys. Whoa, look at that page. Women unite. Lots and lots of banners. Game on. Lawmakers debated. Marches were organized. The valiant fighters would not quit. They insisted that girls should not and would not be shut out from equal academic and athletic opportunities, being allowed to boys only. Placing limits on the intellectual aspirations of women should be alien to the very basic concepts of this nation, Edith said. And she meant it. Discrimination was doomed. Still, debates were held. Hostilities were hurled. There's a lot of big words in there. A lot of women came together for that. After a long, grueling battle, a new law was passed in 1972. Title IX mandated equal treatment for competitive girls. The law states, no person in the United States shall be denied the benefits of, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any educational program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Yeah, I messed up. I read it weirdly. At long last, girls had proper equipment, locker rooms, practice fields, and strong coaches for one and all. There was to be no more boys-only favoritism under the federal law. Yet the battle for equality raged on. In the same year the law was passed, 11-year-old Maria Peep had pitched just 3 games before New Jersey Little League officials refused to let her continue competing with the boys. The New York Yankees said, "That's crazy. Why shouldn't girls play baseball?" Officials believed the league developed qualities necessary for boys only. They thought fragile girls would get hurt. Well, Judge Sylvia Pressler would not stand for it. She and others went toe-to-toe with the league and won. New Jersey became the first state to bar sex discrimination in little leagues. Eventually, the majority of little league chapters granted girls the right to play in either league-sanctioned baseball or softball games. So they had to take it all the way to higher court. In time, female athletes began to experience equal treatment, changing the athletic world forever. A new generation of female athletes dominated the 1996 Olympics. So that was only, 30 years ago maybe? No, 20. I got confused. Team USA crushed opponents from all over the world and became known as national heroes. These women were deemed the Title IX babies, triumphant female competitors born around the time the law was passed. Thanks to Title IX, they were forever free to play like a girl at the Olympics and in professional, private, and academic leagues across the country. It's hard to believe that there was a time when girls were not encouraged to play sports. Today, thanks to gutsy girls and legends who changed history, you're free to stomp, jab, tackle, grind, and sweat. Anything you please. Look at you, springing, kicking, dribbling, and pitching it down the pike. Girl, you are amazing. And then it shows us a timeline that goes from 1880 to 1890. It says bicycles became a craze in America. However, females are warned not to ride for fear of pelvic damage, spinal shock, and the development of bicycle face, marked by a protruding jaw, hardened facial muscles, wild staring eyes, and a strained expression. In 1892, Senda Berenson Abbott adapts men's basketball rules for girls, calling 9 players on each team and confining each player to 1/3 of the court. Unlike in men's basketball, swatting the ball away from an opponent is an illegal move, and a game consists of 2 15-minute halves with a 10-minute break between. In 1896, the first modern-day Olympic Games are held in Athens, Greece. Female athletes are forbidden to participate in any event, yet a woman named Mel Panine runs the marathon course alongside the men, finishing in 4 hours and 30 minutes. In 1900, despite lack of encouragement or promotion, a few females compete in tennis, golf, and archery during the Olympic Games. Golfer Margaret Ives Abbott is the first American female to win an Olympic event. In 1912, can women be given access to all of the Olympic events? Would such sport practice by women constitute an edifying sight before crowds assembled for an Olympiad? We do not think such a claim can be made, and this was by Baron Pierre de Coubertin, founder of the modern Olympic Games. In 1914, the American Olympics Committee formally opposes women's athletic competition in all events other than floor exercises, during which competitors are required to wear long skirts. So floor exercises would be like gymnastics and that kind of stuff. Let's see here. 1918. Lauded as one of the leading all-around female athletes of the early 20th century, Eleanor Sears begins playing the game of squash, in addition to being a master competitor in polo, baseball, golf, field hockey, swimming, tennis, yachting, and speedboat racing. Sears eventually became the first female national squash champion. She did a lot of stuff. let's see, 1918. So here we're going to go to 1922. Alice Milliot organizes the FSFI, Federation Sportive Feminine Internationale, dedicated to the worldwide advancement of the serious female athlete. The FSFI holds the first Women's Olympic Games in Paris. 77 female athletes from 5 countries compete in javelin, shot put, running, and jumping events, as well as exhibition matches in basketball, gymnastics, and pushball, attracting more than 15,000 fans. 1925, as members of the women's division of the Chicago City Basketball League, the Romer Girls, an African-American basketball team, cross racial barriers when they compete against white and African-American teams in the league and go on to achieve 6 undefeated seasons. Oh, and then there's another 1925. Gentlemen, if you attempt to go do away with girls' basketball in Iowa, you'll be standing in the center of the track when the train runs you over. That was John W. Agins, co-founder of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. 1926. So it looks like things are speeding up here. On August 8th, Olympic champion and former world record holder Gertrude Ederle swims the English Channel. Oh, we read about her. People said women couldn't swim the channel, but I proved them wrong. 1928, American Legion Junior League baseball player Margaret Giselow's case draws national attention in the New York Times and Movietone News. One newspaper stated that the rules did not provide for girls to compete with the boys. 1943, not much happened in the 1930s. The All-American Girls Professional Baseball League is formed in efforts to keep baseball popular in the public eye while able-bodied men fight in World War II. To assure the highest standards of femininity, players attend charm school and are given beauty kits complete with instructions for beneficial use. Okay, that's kind of funny. Let's see. 1957. Althea Gibson is named Female Athlete of the Year by the Associated Press the year after becoming the first person of color to win a Grand Slam title, the French Open. Althea eventually goes on to win 10 more Grand Slam titles. Shaking hands with the Queen of England was a long way from being forced to sit in the colored section of the bus going to downtown Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's see, and next is going to be 1964. It says, that's what I'm here for, to get the gold medal, boy. It's freestyle, gung-ho, guts out. That was by Donna Di Verona. Olympic swimmer, gold medalist on the 400-member individual medley and 4x100-meter freestyle relay. Okay, 1964. Oh, here we have 1970. Congresswoman Edith Green initiates the first congressional hearings on education for women. She and her distinguished team present evidence that the lawful practice of excluding girls from educational opportunities on the basis of their sex is unjust and unconstitutional. These hearings serve as a starting block in the pursuit of female equality in the academic and athletic arenas. All I want and all I ask is that 2 individuals, a man and a woman, come to a college or university and they have equal credentials and apply for admissions, that they be treated as equals. 1971. We do not need that kind of character in our girls, the women of tomorrow. That was a New Haven judge. Educational amendment bans sex discrimination in education. Title IX is approved by the House of Representatives. The issues of girls, school, and sports move into the forefront. Lawmakers struggle with solutions to desegregate opportunities for female athletes. That was in 1971, 1972. Maria Peep earns a spot on the Hoboken, New Jersey Little League baseball team. After she pitches 3 games in regulation play, the parents of the opposing teams protest on the grounds that girls do not belong in Little League. League officials demand that Maria be dropped from the roster. Following media reports, the Yankees general manager honors her as an official Yankee of the day. On June 23rd, President Richard Nixon signs Title IX and the Educational Amendment of 1972 into law. Oh, there's more. Let's see, in 1974, after a vicious battle involving the suspension of 2,000 Little League team operations in protest, the New Jersey Superior Court rules in the girls' favor. The Little League rules are revised to allow participation by girls. The Little League also creates a girls-only softball league. 1974, 1984, that's the year I was born. Without Title IX, I'd be nowhere. Cheryl Miller, a basketball player. Then 1989, Victoria Bruckner is the first girl to play in the Little League's World Series. She covers first base, bats cleanup, and pitches in the final game. 1991, the International Olympic Committee makes the historic decision stating that all new sports included in the program must feature a women's event. Then next up is 1996. American female athletes, Title IX babies, dominate the Atlanta Olympic Games by winning gold medals in gymnastics, soccer, softball, basketball, track, swimming, and synchronized swimming. The gold medal soccer matchup between the USA and China takes place before a record number 76,481 spectators, the largest crowd up to that time to attend a female sporting event. The USA wins in a celebrated 2-1 victory, yet there is no live coverage of the historic game. Oh, that's too bad. 1999. At the Women's World Cup, the U.S. women's soccer team beats China in a sudden death overtime with 5-4 penalty kick victory. The game is the most attended women's sports event in history, held in Pasadena's Rose Bowl before a sellout crowd of 90,125 fans. Goalkeeper Brianna Scurry, defender Brandy Chaston, and the entire team became America's darlings and the first team to win the World Cup at home. 2004, 40% of athletes participating in the Olympics are women. 2012, for the first time in history, U.S. female athletes win more medals than males, 58-45, at the Olympic Games in London. 2014, Moan Davis, at age 13, is the first African-American female to pitch in the Little League World Series. She pitches a shutout and earns a win. Moan is one of 2 girls to compete in the 2014 World Series games and the first to appear as a Little Leaguer on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Let's see, 2016. In Rio, 61 of 121 Olympic medals earned by the U.S. team are awarded to female athletes, including Aly Raisman, captain of the Final 5 women's gymnastic team. In the artistic gymnastics competition, the Final 5 won the 3rd team Olympic gold medal, the 2nd on international soil. That's the beauty of the Olympics. The whole world comes together, united in their love for sports. I let myself have a moment to think about how momentous this is. That was by Aly Raisman. Before Title IX, 1 in 27 girls played sports. Today, that number is 2 in 5. While we still have far to go before every girl has equal access to sports, especially girls of color, it is clear that we are making headway. That was Megan Olmstead. And then 2017, tennis player Serena Williams secures number 1 world ranking by beating her sister Venus in the Australian Open. The victory earns her 23rd Grand Slam title, 5 more than the world's highest ranking male player. Previously, she twice delivered the Serena Slam, winning all 4 major events in the same calendar year. Amazing things happen when you give female athletes the same funding as men, and that was by Donna De Verona. Now, I'll read the author's note. What does it really mean to play like a girl? Does it mean that because females are sometimes viewed as inherently weak, little should be expected of them in the athletic arena? Hardly. Or, since sports have historically been a guy thing, girls can't be serious about participating? No, I don't think so. Neither would Senda Barrison Abbott, Gertrude Elderl, Edith Green, or the women who fought for Title IX. I believe that female athletes share a common spirit, a sisterhood bound together by a love of sport and for one another. At the inner core of this collective spirit is a warm sense of camaraderie. camaraderie that defies the boundaries of time. Even though inequality issues such as salary caps, prize money, and media coverage are still being challenged today, history shows that when a girl wants to participate on an elite level, she's going to do so, whether folks like it or not. These competitors, as fierce as they might be, also understand that their achievements serve as inspiration to younger generations, encouraging girls to fulfill their dreams on and off the field. Courageous female athletes of the past and present demonstrate that playing like a girl means you have to approach sports and life with confidence, commitment, and drive in order to achieve any worthy goal. It means remaining laser focused and performing at your peak level, no matter who deems the effort to be silly or useless. It means being aware that when you excel in your sport, it's a win for all girls everywhere. Ultimately, to play like a girl means to dig deep and then deeper, competing at one's utmost capacity while empowering others to do the same. You go, girl. And then it has a bibliography, which I am not going to read. But it tells you all the places that she got her information from. So I think really this is talking about how girls were starting to be allowed to play the sports and stuff. But it also comes down to it doesn't matter if you're a boy or girl. You can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. So it was really interesting. And to see how much time has passed, and it hasn't been that long since we've had more equal opportunities for girls as for boys, but the fact that both girls and boys can do great things if you put your mind to it. So we will talk to you guys later. Bye.